Thank you all very much for joining us today for this webinar, specifically for international talent from Latin America, specifically then from Brazil, who want to study in the FH canton in the south of Austria. And today we have Dana from the university explaining how the program works and the applications. And then Letícia, who is a Brazilian who is already studying in Austria. And she will give some insights on how it is to study here. And yes, that's it from my end. I'm Georg Klausner from Work Life, and I will be here, of course, to assist you in the whole application process and any other information that comes up. Thank you. Dana, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So welcome also from my side, and thank you, Georg, for organizing the whole session. Thank you, Letícia, for coming and sharing the students' point of view. Then afterwards, my part will be to introduce Carinthia University of Applied Sciences to you and which programs we offer. And we start right away. I will share my screen now that you see all the slides. So this is me again. I'm responsible for international student recruitment at our small university, and I also work as a study consultant. So my job is to help especially international students find the program that they're interested in and the right program for them. And yeah, this is also my contact email address. So in case you have any questions afterwards, you can also always reach out to me directly. So at first, a few things about Austria, because I know most of you are probably from Brazil, which is quite far away from Austria. So at first, a little bit about the location. We are, as you can see, in the very middle and this heart of Europe. Our university is located in the south part of Austria. The region is called Carinthia, or canton in German. That's where also the name comes from. And our location is about 3 hours away from Vienna, the capital of Austria, but we're very near to the seaside. For example, Venice is only 2 hours away by car. So you can go to the sea, to the Adriatic Sea, to the beaches in Italy and Croatia in only 2 hours. A few more facts about Austria itself. So we have a population of 9.2 million people. Our capital and the biggest city of Austria is Vienna. We speak mostly German here. Almost everybody, especially the younger generation, speaks English, I would say, quite fluently. And we also have minor languages, like, for example, in Carinthia, we have a Slovenian minority, but in general, German is the working and studying language. And I know you're also interested in working in Austria and career in your career opportunities. And just to give you like first picture of your salaries that you can calculate with. So our National Statistics Agency says after a bachelor's degree, you earn about 35,000 per year. And with a master's degree, you earn even more. So about 59,000 per year. 36 months after graduation. And just from my personal knowledge, this is very like the numbers are very realistic. It depends, of course, in which field you study and in which field you work. Usually, if you go for engineering, you earn a little bit more than, for example, when you work in marketing or in another industry. But these are very good estimations of your yearly salaries that you can expect here in Austria. Then about Carinthia, as I told you before, the region is located in the very, very south of Austria, and we border with Italy and Slovenia, which makes this region very interesting because it's a 3-border triangle, and you can go to Italy from our main campus in only half an hour, and the same applies to Slovenia. So basically, you can do a day trip to all 3 countries. And for example, I do my grocery shopping in Italy. I go to restaurants in Italy because it's just better and cheaper when it comes to food. And yeah, I do a lot of hiking in Slovenia. So people who live in Carinthia, they really appreciate this intercultural intersection here. Carinthia is, of course, smaller than the capital region. We have about 500,000 inhabitants, and our biggest cities are Klagenfurt and Villach. So as you can see, Klagenfurt is the capital with a little bit more than 1,000 inhabitants. So very, very small, but a very charming city. I will show you some pictures afterwards. We have got also other cities which are a little bit smaller, but Carinthia basically is known especially for its lakes. We have got more than 1,000 lakes here in this region. You will also see pictures afterwards, and they are perfect if you like swimming or ice skating in winter. They have mostly drinking water quality, so you can actually drink from these lakes. So very good water quality and perfect for swimming and sports. And here are some impressions of Carinthia. As I told you, the lakes in the bottom left, you can see Lake Wörthersee, which is, in my opinion, the most beautiful lake in Austria. And then in the top, you can see our mountains, which in winter are perfect for skiing. So right now, it looks like the left picture on the top. So the skiing season has already started. And of course, in summer, we are very much into hiking. So it's the perfect location if you're into the outdoors, if you like sports or recreational activities. And it very much adds to your student's life because you don't just have studying and a great city, but after your studies, you will have a lot of time for yourself and experience nature and the wonderful landscape we have here. Our cities, as I've said before, are quite small, but nevertheless very charming. And we have quite some events, especially during summer months. For example, in the bottom right, you can see our, I think, biggest event in Villach, which is something like Oktoberfest that you might know from Germany. It's a bit smaller, but still, this is the biggest cultural festival we have here in Austria. And it takes place in one of our cities where also we have a campus. So why should you consider living in Carinthia as for studying, working, or living in general? I think all these reasons apply to each purpose that you come for to Carinthia. So in general, we have a very high quality of life, and it's a very safe region. So whenever you're strolling the streets, you will feel very, very safe. Everything is super clean, and safety also for us means social safety. So everybody has an insurance, a health insurance. So as soon as you work here, you will be fully insured, and you can go to the doctors and to the hospitals for free. And also if something happens and you lose your job, you will also have a safety net. So this is what we consider very high quality of life, and we really appreciate it here. Then Carinthia has a very international and intercultural environment. So we do have quite some international companies here. Also, our education is very international, but what is very important here, we have 3 big European cultures that meet and melt here in this region. So the Germanic ones with Austria, the Romanic ones with Italy, and also the Slavic cultures with Slovenia. They all come together here in this region, and that makes it very, very special. And you can experience it in everyday life. As you can see in the picture, we have a very nice natural landscape with a lot of mountains, a lot of lakes, and due to this landscape, we also offer a huge amount of outdoor and sports activities that you can do. When it then comes to education, generally Austria and Carinthia is known for very high quality education, and especially we are a university of applied sciences, which means we apply the theory also, not just we teach theory, but we apply it. So it's very practice orientated education. And this also then ensures that you already have your professional experience and you gain it during your studies, and then you have better job chances afterwards. Also, it is very affordable to study here, especially in comparison to other countries. In general, in Austria, universities are for free or they only charge a very low tuition fee, at least the public institutions. We are also public institutions, so I will show you the fees then, and then you will see that they are very, very affordable. Nevertheless, the education is really high quality and state of the art. It is just that in Austria, education in general is super affordable, also for international students. Our quality and our practice orientation of the programs then add to very good career prospects after and also during your studies, possibly. Studying here is really then you get the chance to really step into the job market here. It opens the first door to working here. Of course, you can also try getting a job without studying here, but in general, you will also get in touch with future employees during your studies. And then, of course, it's better if you already have graduated here in Austria. So back to our institution. So we are Corinthia University of Applied Sciences, which is short. So the short term is QS. We, as the name already implies, we are a university of applied sciences. So you might know that there are two different types of universities in most Central European countries. So we have the regular universities, or they are often referred to as research universities, and we have the universities of applied sciences. They both offer the same academic education, but just the concept is a little bit different. At a research university, you usually learn more theory, and it prepares you very well for a scientific career. Whereas at a university of applied sciences, like we are, you of course also learn theory, but you also apply it immediately, and you always put it into a professional context. So you have a lot of case studies, you have a lot of projects with industry partners, you have professors that come directly from the industry. So there is always some kind of connection to real business topics, and you don't just learn from the books. Yes, then there are some other differences, that you get a schedule, you don't have to register for each lecture each time yourself, which also then results in a better organization. So you don't have to care for the organization and your whole schedule, but you get that provided by the university. This is also a major difference. Yes, so we're a quite young university. We've recently celebrated our 30th birthday, and we have approximately 3,500 students, and they come from 70 different nations. As you will see, we offer quite a lot of programs in English. That's why we also have many nationalities here. We also have Brazilian students like Letícia. And of course, we want to increase also our international students. Right now, we have about 20%, so 700 international students, but we want to increase that. And we have 11,000 graduates, and we collaborate with more than 100 partner universities worldwide. That is a very big advantage for our students because they can do semesters abroad. And more than that, they can also do short-term mobilities. So you don't have, because you already come to Austria, that's always already a big step. And if you don't want to make another semester abroad in another country, we also offer opportunities to just go abroad to a partner university, for example, for 1 or 2 weeks for a project, or what we call a blended intensive program. We have more than 500 lecturers, and most of them, they have the academic experience plus a practical experience. So it's very important for us that they have real life experience and not just refer to what is written in the books, but they will show you what is needed in business right now. We have very modern facilities with labs, and we have many different labs, and they are very modern. And right now we offer more than 50 different bachelor's and master's degree programs. Most of them are in German, but we also offer a good selection of them only in English, where you don't need any German skills. I will show you the programs afterwards, but before that, I want to show you our campuses. So they are spread in 4 different cities throughout Carinthia, and depending on what you study, you would be on one of these campuses. Our main and most international campus is the one in Villach. The campus, you can see it on the top on the left side, and the city is the second biggest one of Carinthia, and it has a very nice old town, but except for that, it is also very known for its industry. So very good job opportunities there, especially in the semiconductor industry. There is one big global player, which is called Infineon, but there are also then suppliers that collaborate with Infineon again, and so they offer a very broad job perspective, especially in the engineering field. That's why our programs in Villach are also mostly for engineering, but also for business. We have another 2 campuses in Klagenfurt, in our capital city. We offer there mostly engineering. I think Letícia is also studying in Klagenfurt. We offer medical engineering there. And we also offer health sciences there. And you cannot mention Klagenfurt without mentioning the lake. Wörthersee, as you can see here, it has a wonderful color, and our students, they go to the university in the morning and during the day, and then in the afternoon, they can meet their fellow students again at the beach to learn together, or just to enjoy life also, because that's also important. Then we have got 2 smaller campuses in Spital, where you can do, for example, civil engineering in English, and another one in Feldkirchen, but there we only offer German taught programs, mainly in the fields of social studies. So now what can you actually study here? So we have 4 fields of competence: technology, management, health sciences, and social studies. We have the broadest choice of English taught programs in technology. So if you're interested in a bachelor, which in Austria always takes 3 years, then we offer green transition engineering, which is a very nice program, which is like a combination of natural sciences, especially biology and geography, with engineering. There it focuses mostly on computer science and data science. So basically you learn how to work with environmental data, and then we have information technologies, so which is basically computer science, and then you can focus in 3 different specializations. One is medical engineering, then we have multimedia technology. This program starts only from 2027, so there's 1 more year we have to wait. But this is also a very nice program if you are a creative person and you want to know how, for example, creative software works. They also do game design there, game engineering, and the most classical specialization there would be network engineering, where you work with cybersecurity, for example, or cloud computing, 5G technologies, and of course all the programs also include to some extent AI, because it's important everywhere, and the programs really try to integrate the state-of-the-art technologies. Then for those of you who are interested in robotics and systems automatizations and also into physics, then we have a program called systems engineering. And also there you can choose between either green electronics or green mechatronics. For the bachelor's degree program, so as you can see, there are 6-7 bachelors in technology that are completely in English, so no German skills required. We require only a B2 level in English for that. And for the masters, we have even more programs. So I will not read everything out to you, but our most popular ones are applied data science and medical engineering. We also have civil engineering, for example, in English. And we have 3 programs: electrical energy and mobility systems, industrial power electronics, and integrated systems and circuits design. They are very much focused on our semiconductor industry that I mentioned earlier. So they really prepare you for a career in one of the companies that operate here in our region. And also for systems engineering, we have a consecutive master, which is systems design. If you are interested in a technological master's degree program, and you can also apply for a technology scholarship. This includes, for the first year, a monthly scholarship of 700 euros. So you get 700 euros per month for your studies. Plus, then in the second year, you will have a guarantee to have a part-time employment either in one of our partner companies. As I've said, we work together with a lot of companies. Or you can be hired in a research department of our university in a research program. Plus, you will get a free German language course. Because even though you can study in English, you can also, especially if you're an engineer, you can also pursue a career in an English-speaking company. Still, if you have German skills, you will have much more opportunities, and it will just make life and also professional life a lot easier. And as a university, of course, we provide these German courses to you. And here are the requirements for these scholarships. You can read that all also on our website. I added the link here, or you can just go to all the technological programs and you will find it immediately. What's important is just that you don't have a residence in Austria right now and you have an excellent bachelor's degree. So you need also to apply for the scholarship, of course, and it's based on your performance in the bachelor's degree. And just because it's not always logical, do you apply for the scholarship before? No, the first step would be to apply for a master's program of your choice. It has to be a technological one, so you cannot study business, for example, in your master's. You have to go for a technical one. And then if you got admission there, then you can apply for the tech scholarship. And you have time for that until middle of May. And for this scholarship, of course, it has a very interesting financial aspect. But what really is interesting is that it gives you your first step into the Austrian labor market, because you will either be employed by one of our partner companies or at a research project. And this really allows a smooth then start into your professional career after your studies. Yes, we also have some programs that are not technology related. And we also have management programs in English. And I would say these are our most popular international programs. So in this field, we offer digital marketing and sales, which is perfect if you want to pursue a career in online marketing. And then we have intercultural management. This is a general business administration program, but then with a focus on intercultural relations. So you also learn how to work or even to lead international teams. So you learn how to understand cultural differences. And you also, in your curriculum, you have to learn a second language, which in most cases would be German. So each semester you will have a German class, or if you already know German, it could be, then you can go for Italian classes. The whole program is in English, so either German or Italian. For the master's degree program, master's always takes 2 years, and we offer international business management, which can also be done as a double degree with another university in Italy. So it's only 1 hour away, the University of Udine. And we also have a degree that is called Management of Conservation Areas. This enables you to manage, for example, national parks. So it's super specific, and it's also considered more like a further education. So this is, I put a sign here. For this program, you pay a higher tuition fee. For the others, I will tell you the tuition fee afterwards in detail, but it's around 500 euros per semester. For this one, it's more. So I think the whole program costs 30,000. So it might be a little bit less interesting because it's super specific and also more costly. We also offer programs in health sciences in English, but they're more related to engineering, but just with an application on the medical sector. So as a bachelor's, we offer IT, information technologies, with a focus on medical engineering. And in the master's, we offer this one as well. I won't go too much into detail because it will be explained very much in detail by Letícia afterwards. And we have another master's, which is active aging and age-friendly society, because if you know, the European society especially has a demographic change, and this master prepares you on how to handle this and also do innovation in this sector. Here is just the overview of all the programs that we offer. As you can see, it's more than I showed you, but these are all the programs that are also offered in German. For example, we have architecture, we have biomedical science, we have healthcare and nursing, but these are offered in German, and you need a B2 level in German. The other ones that I showed you before require only English skills. And for the same goes for master, so there is also a broader choice. If you're interested in that, I would recommend you to go on our website and have a look at that. Then, of course, we don't only offer study programs and studying, I would say, and only lectures, but of course, you also have like extracurricular activities that are also important when you study. For example, we have a study and work program, so you can apply to our partner companies via the university. And we also have a career service who takes care of that. And also we have a job fair, we have counseling services, we have an online job portal, so they care for everything that is career related. Then also recreation is super important because we also offer sports courses, offer a sports camp sports camp in summer. And then we have, for example, soon an academic skiing day. So we invite our students to go skiing with us. There is also a ski race, for example. Then we have different social events, which are organized either by the student association themselves or by our international office. As an example, I can give you our international office recently organized a trip to an advent path in the mountains. And we organize buses there, so you don't have to care for everything. Everything will be done by the university. And also for your mental needs, we have a student support center. For example, if you struggle with studying or with a specific subject, or for example, also with your thesis. For example, from my personal experience, I can say writing a thesis is not always super easy. And we have an office there that's called Student Support Center, and they support you also with mental issues that you might have during studying. Of course, we also have different facilities and initiatives for entrepreneurs. So it's the Founders Garage. That's basically a network that gives you everything you need about like founding your own business, a startup. And Smart Lab Carinthia is our lab that can be accessed. Like students, for example, if you have a business idea and you need to do a prototype, then you can go to the Smart Lab and work on your idea yourself. And of course, we have exchange opportunities. I've also mentioned them before with our partner universities, could be either a semester or less abroad. Now, very important are the university fees, which in our case are, I would say, quite good news. Because you don't have to sell your kidney in order to study like in other countries. And we're a public institution. That's why our tuition fee is very affordable. EU citizens pay 363 euro per semester, and international students that are not coming from the EU states, it's 500 euros per semester. So for our bachelor's degree, it's 3,000 euros, and for a master's degree, it's 2,000 euros in total, not more than that. The only thing that is added then is 25 euros per semester for the Austrian National Union of Students, which is your representation in front of the government. But you also have to consider the cost of living, of course. That is, in Austria, it's a little bit higher than in other countries, but not as high. Our government estimates about 1,200 euros for living. So of course, as the tuition fee is very low, it doesn't include accommodation. So you have to care for your accommodation yourself. But you can calculate about this amount, 400 to 500 euros. Then depending on your lifestyle, of course, you have to calculate food and other personal costs, for example, for your free time, or then if you need to buy books, for example. But we have most of the books also in the library or as ebooks. So you could also, depending on your lifestyle, get along with 1,000 euros per month. However, you have, of course, to consider the tuition fee per semester, the IHA fee, and the health insurance. So when you come to Austria, we would recommend you take an additional insurance, and this costs 73 euros per month. Then, if you work part-time, then it's already included, the health insurance. For accommodation, which is also super important, is that in Austria, we don't have this tradition on campus housing. So like in America, you know, when you go to university, you will be assigned a room. That is not the case, unfortunately, here in Austria. That's why also our tuition fees are a little bit lower. Of course, we have student dorms. So we have a list here of several student dormitories in nearby our campuses, but you have to apply to them separately. So at first to the university, then with the admission letter, you can also apply to the dormitories. But it's very popular to also share apartments. In German, it's called WG. It's super common and mostly also more affordable than student dormitories. Or you can also, of course, go for private accommodation. We also have an info center that can send you a list of all possibilities you have, but you can also find them on our website. When it comes to financing, I've already mentioned our scholarship, which is for master students of technical programs. As a public institution, we cannot offer many different scholarships apart from that one. This one is our own. But I can recommend you this website here, which is www.grants. And it's a database for all scholarships that are offered within Austria. You can filter them based on your needs, and then I hope you find a good scholarship. Of course, if you have a student residence permit, you can also work here during your studies, but a maximum of 20 hours per week. But it's only a good salary usually you get for 20 hours. And another tip would be to use our study and work program to find one of these jobs. There are also other financing options, but for that, I would ask you to get in touch with You Work Life or Georg, who can give you more tips on that, because there are also several opportunities there. Then for the admission and for the application, So we have one intake per year, so we only have one in autumn. So the next intake would be then in October next year, and you can apply until the 15th of May. But the earlier you apply, the better it is. You can go to this QR code, or everywhere on the website you will find the link to our application website. Everything is online, so you can upload all the documents. I will show you then which documents you need. And then if the documents are complete, you will be invited to a application procedure, which consists mostly of an admission interview. It's in most cases not a test or an exam, but more a getting to know each other. But still, we recommend you take a look at all the curriculums or the information on the website just to be prepared. Then if everything works out well, you will get a confirmation of a study place, and with that a learning agreement, which is kind of a contract that you have to sign. And then with that you can apply for the visa, you can apply for the accommodation, and the final step would then be the enrollment. But the enrollment is done once when you're in Austria, so usually at the beginning of the semester. And we have, of course, some general admission requirements that are different for bachelor's and master's degree programs. So in general, you need a secondary school leaving certificate, which has to be equivalent to the Austrian Matura. And here is some more specification on that. So you need 12 years of schooling and several subjects, so general subjects that are listed here. And the most important thing that it needs to enable you to go to university in your home country. I know that in Brazil, for example, you have to take a separate test for university, and this test you have also to take if you want to go to Austria and to our university. Additionally, you need a language certificate. If you study something in English, we only need an English certificate. We usually accept the most relevant ones. And if you want to study in German, then you need a German certificate. There can be individual requirements that you can find on the website. And another important thing is that they need to be legalized. So if you have a high school diploma, you need to do the apostille. And you also need to translate it either to German or to English. For the master's degree program, it's important that you have a bachelor's degree already, which will require a minimum of 3 years, but it depends on your country. And it needs to be consecutive. So for example, if you want to study international business management, you need to have a bachelor's degree in some business-related program, for example, business management or business administration. If you want to study, for example, systems design, you have to have a bachelor's that is related to electronics. If you want to study applied data science or medical engineering, for example, then you need to have a bachelor which was about computer science or informatics. But each program is checked individually. So if you have doubts, I would just recommend you to apply, and then our admission office gives you very fast feedback if you're eligible or not. And also for the masters, of course, you need to legalize and translate your documents. So that was it very briefly for the requirements. I hope it was interesting for you. We would very much love if you stayed in touch with us. We are present on all social media platforms. And if you have general inquiries, just go to our info email address, which is info@qs. You can just write, "Hey Dana," and your email will find me.
Thank you so much for everyone that is here, and thanks so much for the invitation to be part of it. So I'm here to talk a little bit more about medical engineering analytics. And so my name is Letícia Cotinguiba Silva. I already graduated my master's here in class in the middle of this year, and I'm giving just a brief presentation about the medical engineering and my background as well. So as I said, my name, Letícia Cotinguiba Silva. I'm from São Paulo in Brazil, and I did my bachelor in Brazil in medical physics in the State University of São Paulo, NESP. Who knows, it's a big university in São Paulo, public university as well. And I did 4 years bachelor, for example. I did my Master's of Science in Engineering course, and now I work as a junior researcher in Yara. That is a research institute here at FH that Dana already mentioned that there is opportunity to work here during and after your studies. Why I chose hackathon, and most of the points were covered by Dana about the advantages to live here and to study here. So first of all, I wanted to do my master's degree in Europe. for the main thing of cultural exchange, and also I would like to have this lifestyle as well. And so I was looking for a European university when I was applying for my master's degree abroad after my bachelor's. I wish that I could do something applied. Since I did my degree in physics, in medical physics, was applied physics, but it's still physics. And I also think that most of you that are here knows how the big public universities in Brazil work. So it's pretty theoretical, pretty advanced science, but it still stays in theory, even though we have several labs classes, but it's mainly theoretical and for research. And I also looked for something that could help me to get into the job market. And everyone knows how after the degrees and nowadays how the job market it is extremely competitive. And I really wanted something that could push me to get a better job and to get a better opportunity after my graduation. So not just do the master degree, just to have the title, but also to add something in my career that I could be used. And I looked for affordable studies. Then I said, in comparison to other universities, even in Europe, but mainly in America, we know that in America, Canada, Australia, for example, when you look for international places to study, they are pretty much high, the costs. And I didn't want to get a big like loan or something like this to have my studies. So I want affordable studies. I want the cultural exchange where I already mentioned, and I think that Europe was a place that I could have it. And when I got to know Austria in the middle of Europe, connected to several countries, making border to I don't know how many countries, and I really got interested in the country and to apply to universities here. And I also wanted the opportunity to learn a new language. I always, at the point when I applied, I already could speak 3 languages fluently. So I would speak Portuguese, English, Spanish, and I wanted to learn a fourth language that now it's going on. That is my German. It's not a language, but it's really interesting. And I wanted to do my studies in English. A big step for me to get improved, like this skill on me. And I did English and I was in English schools my whole life. But I think studying and working in English, it makes a difference when it comes to have an international career, for example. With that, F Hackathon could cover all the points. So when I was looking for it and through the portals and websites, that was several. I did basically my whole research alone. I had no idea how to apply when I was applying, but I took like a lot of time. And this is really nice that now I have the opportunity to have kind of support throughout this application, because I had those points and I had to go one by one to see which university would cover those main wishes of mine. So my experience of studying Klagenfurt, I did my the master's in medical engineering and analytics. It's in Klagenfurt in Primrosgasse. And I moved to Austria, right? So MEA, that is the study program, there is the opportunity, and if you want to take it completely online from your home country, but I really wanted to move and I really wanted to live abroad. So I moved to Klagenfurt. Klagenfurt is a really affordable city comparing to the other place. For example, Vienna, it's with more higher costs to live in the capital, of course. But Klagenfurt, it's a really powerful city. For me, it was okay to live here, and I could live with the costs that Dana already mentioned. For Klagenfurt's known by being a student city. We have also the other university here, that is University Klagenfurt, and have Hackathon. So a lot of internationals are here, and I could connect to the international community and have connections and a cultural exchange that was important for me. I lived in Avge, as also Dana already mentioned. There is a shared flat, and it's really common to have a shared flat here. Website that is called Begegesud, that it's specifically for you for applying for shared flats. If you need something, or if you're coming here once you are applying and get accepted by our state program and you need some tips, of course, you can enter in contact with me. But I pretty much got here throughout a student dorm. I live at 3 months in a student dorm, but then I found my people. I found my peeps here and I moved with them, which was extremely beneficial for me. Once you move abroad, you want to build up your security system and your friends. So I could do it, and I'm really happy they are my life friends now. And Klagenfurt, of course, brought me some unexpected surprises. I didn't know exactly where Klagenfurt was, where Carinthia was. I was kind of going through it a bit wild. And it impressed me about the quality of life. So I'm from São Paulo. Everyone knows all Brazilian knows how São Paulo is chaotic. And here it's a walking distance of every place. Near the mountains, opportunity to practice winter sports, which we don't have in Brazil. And for me, it was something that I was interested on. And it makes part of your routine. It's like you acquire this lifestyle. We'll go for snowboarding or skiing after work, and it's something that you can do it. And it's also affordable here in Carinthia. And the Vortice. The Vortice is the highlight, I think, from Klagenfurt. It's a really international known lake, and it's really big. It's warm, which some lakes are not. And I also agree with Dana that it's my favorite lake in Austria. I've been living here 2 years, and I've been several lakes, and I really like Vortice. So after my studies that finished now in October, I had the choice to stay, and I also I had to do this choice. If I stay or if I not, I would not stay in Austria. And I chose to stay, mainly because I had the opportunity when I was in the last year of my master's to get a position as scientific project assistant in Yara. That is one of the research institutes of FH that I already mentioned. And after the graduation, I got the junior researcher position, which I really like to work here. And I think also the work-life balance in Austria and also at the research institute in FH, at FH, it's really, really well done. And it was something that was important for me about quality of life. Also, be able to afford things for me was really, really good. And in my case, I have a PhD opportunity in IU project from 2026 on. So this was my main choices. And I think once you are here, those opportunities appear for you, and most of people support you here. So about medical engineering analytics, I will say about the masters that what I did here, as I said, the masters, and then I already have mentioned, it's 4 semesters, so 2 years. And in this case, you can take it completely online, but I actually highly recommend to move if you have the opportunity and how move to Austria. We have several things. I will just highlight some of the main areas for masters. So, for example, let's start how I how came my interest in this master's? I came from physics. So I came from theory, I came from medical physics. And the first thing that I saw was applied medical signal and analysis and applied medical image analysis. Those two things we have in physics. And when I saw the whole description of the subjects, I was like, okay, I can take, and this actually fits to my curriculum, which is really important when you're applying. As Dana said, you have to be continuous. So like medical physics should be something related in the master's. You cannot change your bigger area. So that's why I chose. Also, when I saw, I was like, okay, it covers. So we have some big areas, for example, for sensors and robotics. It covers, and one of the main things would be the augmentative visualization in medicine, that you learn how to be building artificial reality, for example, which is super interesting. One of the big things from the masters that also take my attention when I was applying was the part of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Then I already said, everyone knows it's in your For You pages everywhere, how artificial intelligence it's taking over and over all their areas. And I think it's pretty much good support for you to get in this new age of work that it's appearing now. So we get from the masters a really, really good base for this. One, of course, it's a master's in engineering, and it requires you some basic knowledge in statistics, which is super important when it comes to the analytics part of the master's. So we have statistics studies in biomedical engineering that is basically applied statistics in engineering. And this gives you a really, really, really base. It's not theoretical. And this was something that I was really impressed. We go through all those subjects through projects. So you do a lot of projects, a lot of exercises. The workload, it's a workload of a master's. Don't expect less, but you get really, really well prepared for everything that you have to do after it. And other things that I want to highlight as academic skills it's applied master's, but gives you a base for research if it's your wish after the master's. Neuroscience, that is something that's really nice, is more applied to medicine, but even though you go. And entrepreneurship, if your wish it's going to be an entrepreneur. So, for example, I have colleagues that has now a startup after the master's. One thing that I really like is that the last semester is focused for a master thesis, which is amazing. And throughout the semesters, you have the project subjects that are really interesting for you to do the marklands and for your master's project. You have to present your master's project, talk with the professors, choose your orientation, and is everything really well structured by FH. So for me, this was very important when I was coming abroad. I needed structure. I needed something that was well done. And I think that's why I actually highly recommend FH if it's not medical engineer, but other study program. It's always kind of the same, and FH offers you a really good structure for that. So that's it. Thanks so much. And if you are interested in the institute from Yara, you can also see our website. I let my contact, email, and LinkedIn. You can send me a message through LinkedIn or my email. I go through it. And if you need some support as well for applying or to get to know more about the masters, I'm here and available. That's it.
Thank you so much, Letícia. That was really great to hear your inputs and how it is to live in Austria. And also, of course, for anyone who wants to apply and knows there's already someone from your home country, that's of course nice because a community will be created. We have a question very specifically to the tech scholarship.
Mhm.
And the question Mateo's asked is whether the tech scholarship is exclusive to the data science course.
No, it's not exclusive to the applied data science course, but it's exclusive for the technological masters. Data science is one of them, but also civil engineering or like the studies Letícia did, medical engineering and analytics. You can also apply for the tech scholarship for that. What's important that it's a technological master and not, for example, international business management. This one is not eligible.
And you have a certain amount of scholarships that you
Yeah.
give out per year. Is this always for each course, or you have a total number and then it depends?
It's a total number. So last year we had 4 scholarships, but we're trying to give more scholarships next year.
Okay.
So it's at least 4 again. So of course it's based on the performance in the bachelor. Not everybody gets it, but you just have to apply. And if you apply to technological master, then you definitely also have to apply for the tech scholarship because I think it's a good opportunity and you cannot lose anything.
Also great that you mentioned the other options of being able to work. And I just want to emphasize this again, like anyone who will come will get a student visa. And by law, you can work up to 20 hours per week with this permit. So if somebody could not get the scholarship and still needs to work aside to finance it, we, of course, are experts in finding jobs for international talent. That's our part, what we do. So if someone really wants to make this work out and could not get a scholarship or find a job through the university, there's, of course, other ways how to find a part-time job and then cover the living expense. So in any other industry or, of course, ideally in the one that you're familiar with. We will share this with everyone who could not join. And I thank you so much that we've done that info session. I personally learned a lot as well.
I did too. I didn't know so much about the medical engineering and analytics program so far. And it's always super to hear why students from the other part of the world choose us. And it was very nice to hear that you feel well here in Carinthia and what you like. And we share the passion for the lake, obviously.
Yes, I think for Corinthia, the lake is the highlight. I really like it. It's the best in the summer and in the winter to be so close to the mountains. Like I'm working at FH now and I'm looking in the Alps. So yes.
That's very nice. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Obrigada.